The walls of Paris held out against the English onslaught. England's King Edward and the Black Prince abandoned the siege. They marched towards Chartres to try their luck at conquering a less formidable target. But before they could attack, a violent storm hit the army. Killing 1,000 English soldiers in a tempest of hail and freezing winds. To Edward, this Black Monday disaster seemed like divine retribution. A sign that it was time to stop waging war and make peace with France's King Jean. But even as peace between kings was reached, the people of France were still living in bloodshed and turmoil. Between 1358 and 1370, France was in chaos. Peasant uprisings, rampaging bands of mercenaries, and civil war ravaged the country. Peasants rose in rebellion, killing their lords and wreaking havoc. Mercenary bands also roamed the land. Known as routiers, they had once been hired by the English to fight against the French, but were cut loose when peace was reached. They systematically ravaged and pillaged towns across France. And with King Jean prisoner in England, his son Charles the Dauphin faced homegrown attacks on his rule by powerful French lords, beset from all sides. The Dauphin's forces had to regain control over their own country. Having only recently been crowned King of France, Charles V dispatched his army to the French-held village of Évreux to forge order from chaos. From here, the army would move to extinguish three major threats. Bands of roving mercenaries harrying the countryside, a peasant uprising, and attacks from a rival for the French crown, Charles of Navarre. The French army would start by reclaiming the rebel-held villages of Cocherel, Jouy, and Croissy.
Toutes unités. Buona ciel pour la materia.
Labour Spérance. Colones sunt ici.
Cavallarios par... In avant, cursores! Quitte, cursores!
As the French army struggled to regain control of the countryside, they were struck by a band of English routiers. These mercenaries had been cut loose by the English army and were plundering the countryside in order to make a living. The French forces eliminated the routier attack, but more were still raiding the countryside in search of provisions and riches. The routiers demanded payment from the French, or they would continue their horrifying raids.
Quet, me?
Si sommes,
Vado-
mandesque, sì, bene. Cose sarà massonata? E ce li mandament.
Ah, Félicette Beat.
Buon lavoro. Ascolte bene.
Sommes parat.
Labour
Cursores. In avant, cursores.
Equites sunt...
Cavallarios. Quitie, cursores. Cursores, parat. Comprendo.
Momente sì, Archier. Parate, Archier. Commander, Archier, ambulance. L'Archier Sparata.
Mandesque.
Point d'ordine? Obeio, sicum...
Parat, Obedio.
Dut sodite. Et celi mandement.
Labour
Restituo.
Speranz. Vale.
Fate. Comprendo. Menesti pornos.
Escolte? Sì, comprendo.
Qued. Me.
Io ma sono la cose. Cose sarà massonata?
Cursores, in li caval.
Parat. Fade, Archier.
Si sommes.
Vale.
Trompe. Si, sito.
Et celi mandement. Sì, bene. Vado là. Perfect.
Vale.
Io ma sono la cose.
Nos menatzen. Si volei.
Attenzione.
Preparate, Archier.
Bene.
Come Montes. Ascolte
Parat pour
bene.
labour. Vale.
Cose sarà massonata?
Ok.
Cursores, in li caval. Expect. Les cursores sont ici.
Dolme mio, se ordit.
Quitie, cursores.
Benefect.
Preparate, in avant, Archier.
Buon lavoro. Mi plette.
Parat pour venir.
Félicite Béat.
Salut, vado.
Buon lavoro.
Inimi viene.
Benefect.
Cavallarios, parat. Perfecte. In avant, cursores. Comprendo. Ene. Commande. Nella chic.
L'Archier Mauvais.
Quel bon boulot. Non, maman.
Arco Parat. Prudente. Allez, vigilo. Momente. Oye. Go, Martin. Oh, Victor Archier. In avant.
Si. Sec.
Parate, Archier. Bene, bene.
Caval parat.
Momente sì, Archier. Arco Parat.
Qu'est demandé?
Prompt.
Va. Comprendo. L'encaisse paratas.
Parat, audience.
Tuts audite. Restituo. Comprendo.
Archier Parat.
L'enquier parat.
Parat pour venir.
Prompt.
Allez.
Io ma sono la cose.
Tuts audite. Labour Speranz.
Sagristana.
Escolte bene. Dams de retornar. Retorno con materia. Anos la carna. Vale. Seco materia.
Dut sodite.
Si.
Cose sarà massonata?
Buon lavoro.
Oh, parier, sigene.
Preparate, Archier. Angola.
Oh, drive in avant. Mendes. Tourna. Bene.
Wait, me?
Colonnes, Paitis.
Vado Labura. Scolte bene.
Arquer. Momentesi, arquer. Mano. Ambula. Parole, in avant, arquer. Deusei. Vale, arquer.
Ah, Felicette.
Intento. Bene, bene.
Come sono le cose?
Parat.
Intendo.
Preparate, arquer.
Escolti, arpe.
Bene, bene. Comprendo. Parat. Oye.
Si. Perfecté. Cursor obéissance.
Momentesi, arquer. Arco parate, arquer.
Intendo.
L'enquête. Perfecté.
Colonnes. Pitiés, colonnes. Prompte. Colonnes. Mauvais colonnes. Eccellimento de scolte bene.
Cos'è sarà massonata?
Tutto di te.
Vado Labura.
Ah, Felicette Beat.
Paitis.
Quai de Mendes. Comprend course. Ambulo.
Parade cette France.
Presente l'enquête. Bene. Tranquille. Parier être préparé. Comprendo.
Preparate, arquer.
Si. Cavallo ici. L'enquête.
Come sono le cose? Eccellimento de Marte.
L'enquête. L'enquête paratas. Vade. L'enquête.
Parade, arquer. In avant.
Près de Labour. Mandemans, colonnes.
Vado Labura. Arco parade.
Buon Labour. Tout sodite. Felice. Scolte bene.
Cos'è sarà massonata?
Préparier. Veniez. Comprendo.
Cum grande course. Ambulo. Cavale par oye, oye. Mais là, c'est pour nous! Cavallo ici. Oye, oye.
The French discovered the Routier hidden camp and could put an end to the English raids if they could destroy the camp.
L'enquête.
Parate, in avant, arquer.
Presente l'enquête.
Preparate.
Parier. arrière.
With the Routier camp destroyed, mercenary attacks were no longer a threat. The central monastery town of Cocherel was still under the control of rebel peasants. The French army would have to take it before they could launch an assault on Charles of Navarre.
Ambulance. In avant, serviettes. Sieste. Stop. Non mogo.
In taking the village of Jouy, the French army was closer to stemming the peasant rebellion and regaining control.
Parates, servientes. Audience.
The central monastery town of Cocherel would continue to send out rebel attack parties to weaken the French army. The village of Croissy, rich in gold deposits, was a crucial town for the French to reclaim. The French army defeated the rebels at Croissy and took control of the gold-rich village.
Barrier et préparé, l'enquiers. Présent, vade, equit, momente, ambula.
Sibolier, Parat, Trabalam, Audience. Parat, Sibolier, non mobo. En linea e come Mondes. Seguit mandement. Come Mondes. Susin, Dutsin, Sumen. Equites attendance. Parate, Chevalier. Sovespa. Instruments confident. Instruments confident. Equites attendance. In avant. Ambula. Equites orchestre. Momentes Move equites. Parat, ambula, equites, in avant. Sovespa. Preparate, equites attendance ici.
The French army took control of the rebel villages, and the peasant uprising was subdued.
Manans, Haki, comme volets.
But to keep control over the region, they would need to defend its center of influence, the monastery at Cocherel. Northeast of Cocherel, Charles of Navarre's army had established a fortified camp. The King of Navarre sought to make himself ruler of France as well. He intended to press his claim by destroying the newly arrived royal forces. Pushing up the hillside, the French discovered Charles of Navarre's camp. His front line had the high ground and was made up entirely of archers. The French would have to think carefully about how to approach the stronghold.
Corrège l'entière.
The French army had repelled Charles of Navarre, stemmed the revolt, and held back the raids of the Routiers. In the struggle for control over France's lands, the king still clung to power.